So now let's actually get into repairing some problems in the actual voiceover, not just things around the voiceover. We removed the diesel truck that went by, we removed the background noise, and now we're going to actually get into the meat of the voiceover. And this one will be repairing plosives. And if you don't know what plosives are, that's any sound that you make out of your mouth hole that produces air. So any P sounds, you can get it on K sounds, B sounds, anything where air pushes out of your mouth. So P's, K, T, any of these sounds, depending on how some people speak, you might get some on certain letters and some people might not produce as much air on others, but P's are usually the go-to, and I have this little pop filter right here to reduce some of them, but even if you use a pop filter, they can get into your audio. So let's remove the old recording we had, and let's make a plosive track. So let me remove my, remove my pop filter, and let's hit some P's. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. Now, I'm sorry for you guys that had to hear that. So let me put my headphones on so I can hear it myself. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. So let's just get to, you can see this. Whenever there's a plosive, you're going to see this wavy line. So right there is the plosive. Okay? So let's find a good one. Peter Piper picked a peck of, this is a heavy one right here, but let's keep peck of pickled peppers, pickled peppers, pickled peppers. So let's just look at this one right here. We're going to focus all of our, actually, let me just take this phrase here. So we have pickled peppers. So pickled peppers. And you can see this huge wavy line. And if you're listening real carefully and you have good speakers, there's actually a little rumble. Pickled pepper. There's a very low rumble. Basically what's happening is air is coming out of the microphone, hitting the capsule, and the capsule's going, whoa, 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 and creating this very low frequency. So if we do what we did earlier, and let me remove my face once, and scroll in on these frequencies, go to the right spot here, and push our way down. Oh, let's zoom out so we can do that faster. Okay, we can see, once we get down here, that before, remember how the voiceover there was pretty much no information below 100 hertz. And now all this information is here. And the reason is because you're creating a low frequency from air hitting the microphone. So let me put my face back on. And this is a very similar fix to removing the low rumbles that we had earlier. So let's first just highlight this portion. This is, you can see at the bottom, there's the meat of this plosive here. It's all lit up because it's very bad. So let's listen to what we have. Pick. Sorry about that. It's on repeat. Okay, let's just hear it once. Pickle. So we had that low air push. So what we're going to do to fix this is it's pretty simple. Highlight the entire plosive. So it's pretty much the end of the wavy line right here. And you can, if you really want to be scientific about it, you can go down and see where this little low red bar ends. But let's zoom all the way out. Or no, we're going to keep it there while we fix it. And we're going to go to Effects. We're going to go to, where is it? Filter and EQ. And this FFT filter. Now there's one, oh, it's already set up. Spoilers. There's one on here called Kill the Mic Rumble. And what's happening here is pretty much the same thing as the EQ, but a bit more extreme. So we can see the 100 hertz right here that we were talking about, where a lot of our, below the point where none of our voiceover is really happening. So what this is doing is a bit more extreme version of that EQ. And if you go to Kill the Mic Rumble right here in the presets, you can adjust it yourself, right? You can mess with it if you want to customize it, but this one will pretty much work fine. So again, we highlight this little spot here and do Kill the Mic Rumble. So we'll just do Apply, and we can see all that big chunk is gone. It's gone. So if we zoom out, and you can see the wavy line's gone as well because it's not getting that big, crazy air hit. So let's listen to it now. Pickled pep. So it's almost better. Pickled pep. Pickled pep. Pickled pep. Pickled pep. So let's undo, and let's copy this. Control C, and then click right here and paste it. So we have two examples. Now what I'm going to do is highlight this one and do what I just did one more time so we can just hear the difference. Okay, so FFT filter, kill the mic rumble, apply. Okay, pickled pepper. So you see that big air hit's completely gone. Pickled pepper, right? So, but when I first started doing this, let me just Control Z that one away. It's, if you have a voiceover track that has a lot of plosives in it, it becomes ridiculous to constantly go down to that menu. So what you can do is this. You highlight the thing as if you're doing it for the first time, and go to Filter and EQ, FFT filter, kill the mic rumble, and you're going to want to just click this star. Okay? So let's just call this plosive, or let's call it pfft, because that's what's happening. Okay? So, that's what I called my last one. Okay, so let's overwrite it, because I'm uncreative and use the same names. And let's close it. So now what happens is, if we highlight that, we can go to our favorites here, and we can see poofed right there, and we click it, and it does that, right? It does it just how we did it in how we set it up. But to do it even faster is this. So you can see, wait, hold on. Let's go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and we have this nice interface. So once you make it a favorite and label it something, you can go to this little search menu and type in what you called it, so poofed, and you can see I already set mine to 5. And what you can do is just click on it and drag it to a key you want. So in my case, I dragged it to 5. So let me just, can I remove this? Or how do I show you guys an example? Clear? Okay, there. So then click, drag it onto what key you want it on. And just so you know, this little interface is brand new. It used to be horrible. There was no visual. So you guys are in for a treat with that. So it's on 5. So now it's as simple as just doing this. Highlight, 5. Highlight, and we can see it there, 5. Those are fine. So now we have this, pickled peppers. So now that we have this ready to go hotkey, we can do this. So we can go through, let's zoom this out a bit so it doesn't look so crazy. We can see here, 5. We can see here, 5. And you're gonna get used to seeing these wavy lines. So in this case, it's all over the place. So let's just listen to it. Picked. So even the T at the end. So we have here, 5, 5, 5. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see. What is this? Okay, that's a bad one. I think it's one we did earlier. Pickled peppers. And let me just go through and do all these. But while I'm doing this, I just want to say that I'll include practices of all these things. So I didn't say it in the high pass or in the background noise, but I'll include files with a low noise that you can try and edit out yourself, and background noise that you can remove. So look for those in the project files. There'll be an example of each video, so you can work on what I'm showing you. So here we go. So now it's done. So now let's copy this. Okay, and I'm going to actually undo all those changes. So we have a bad one, and then let's remove this, and then paste this at the end. So now we can hear the bad version and then the good version playing all at once. So let's listen to it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. And just like that, you're not blowing the eardrums out of your audience, and you're saving a lot of time. So, but you have to remember though, if you're a voiceover artist and you have a voiceover that sounds like this first one, God help you, ideally you want to re-record, right? Instead of just doing this little kill the mic rumble thing. Because if you're in the situation to re-record, it's always better to have good audio out the gates rather than have bad audio and try to make it better at the end. So don't rely on these things if you're a voiceover artist. Really, you want to work on your technique, plosive. You want to have a good pop filter. But if you just received an audio file, or for some reason you recorded it and this is a way later date and you can't re-record, this is how you got to do it. This is the best way to do it. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Once you have it set up in the favorites, it's just as hard as pressing a key on your keyboard. So let's move on to the next thing.